I'm Brian Kahn, and welcome to the 30 News. Windsor Police and OPP are investigating a possible hate crime at the University of Windsor Students' Alliance office. Officials were called to the office of Jake DeYoung, Vice President Equity of the Alliance. The word Zionist and what appears to be a Star of David was spray-painted on DeYoung's Support Our Troops flag. DeYoung is a former member of the Canadian Forces. Police do not have a motive for the vandalism, but a referendum on whether the Students' Alliance supports the so-called BDS movement, Boycott, Divest, and Sanction campaign against the State of Israel, is this week. DeYoung says he has taken no position on the boycott. The University of Windsor will see change as soon as next month with the approval to begin construction of a new Welcome Center. The center is a place where prospective students, alumni, staff, current students, and donors can meet and get a glimpse of the university. The building will be located on the corner of Patricia Avenue and Wyandotte Street. The 18,000 square foot center will cost $8.4 million in total and is covered through capital funding. The Welcome Center is a small portion of the university's master plan to change the look of the campus. The 30 reporter Ashley Quinton talks about what we should expect to see over the next few years.
It's lovely to look at. I'm just hoping that one little square they can do something with.
Sandra Lloyd has lived on California Avenue for 34 years. She is concerned with the construction that will be taking place on the property across from her home as part of the University of Windsor's campus master plan.
Right now, if you look at the plans, you will see 2 ball courts and a stage. Ball courts at 11 o'clock at night don't go over too well with people trying to get some sleep. The biggest concern is they're also going to take parking off the street. We're going to lose quite a few spots.
The University of Windsor has been working closely with city officials over the last 6 years to brainstorm a plan they say will create a sense of unity and accessibility for the campus.
The master plan is about really making a change to how everything connects to everything else. It's about creating a sense of place. It's about changing the way you can move from one building to the next. It's about having more space just to hang out. It's about having an opportunity to make the campus one that people are going to remember a lot more.
If the campus plan stays on schedule, Sunset Avenue will be closed to drivers beginning in the fall. California will become the through street from Wyandotte to University Avenue. City engineer Paul Murad talks about some of the changes that will occur in the next few years.
So as part of that design, we want to make sure that the increased traffic flows are done in a safe manner by implementing those traffic control features and pedestrian-friendly features.
Ward 2 City Councillor Ron Jones thinks the changes to the university grounds will be beneficial to the community.
This is going to be more pedestrian-friendly. It's going to be safer. And I just think that it adds so much more to the campus.
There are 2 phases in the campus master plan. These steps include the revitalization of 7 zones. Some of the changes will consist of adding a community park, a student welcome center, and more pathways and green space.
People want the university campus to look really nice. And this is a big part of doing that. It's very hard to make asphalt look nice. It's really tough.
There has been no official number given for the budget for the campus master plan, but Dr. Wilderman says they do have capital funding for Phase 1 to begin. I'm Ashley Quinton for the 30.ca.
University of Windsor students are concerned with the rising prices of parking on campus. Jenna Bontorin takes a closer look.
I commute from Amherstburg, and when I do drive in, I don't have a permanent parking pass, so I park in the parking lot next to the CAW. And depending on what time I get in, I don't have a parking spot. So it's just kind of like, and then you pay the $6 to get in the lot, and then you're not guaranteed a spot. So that's kind of frustrating.
If you're a student driving to the University of Windsor campus, you'll most likely hit a couple of roadblocks. For years, campus parking has posed a multitude of problems, and students are more than willing to talk about it.
Well, the parking passes are very expensive. And it's just kind of like thinking of what is that going to mean for people who can't afford the parking pass? Are they going to be able, is the university going to be a viable option for them because they can't afford the parking pass?
And what one doesn't say in person is often said on social media. Countless tweets and Facebook comments are posted concerning the unfair parking situation for students. Common complaints are the lack of spaces, exceptionally high prices for parking permits, half-empty faculty lots that could be open to students, a long walk to campus from the current student lots, and the predatory nature of UWindsor parking enforcement. The 30 sat down with Bill Krolowensky, Supervisor of Parking Enforcement at the City of Windsor. Krolowensky has held the position for the past 3 years and contends with what many students have been saying all along.
The price that the university charges for their parking, for their lot passes now with their new parking garage, they sell more than they have, and the price is a little bit outrageous for young students. It's just been getting worse and worse as education prices go up, and their parking goes up and up, so everybody looks for a different way.
Krolowensky says that the city is looking to add parking meters on California Avenue between Fanchette and University Avenues.
If you happen to get a ticket, on the back of the ticket, there is ways of challenging the ticket. It's called a screening. You come in, you fill out a little form. I'm a poor student, I can't really afford this. The City of Windsor does have a heart.
The 30 also contacted Anna Kirby, Director of Campus Services, but did not receive a response.
College and universities are different in a lot of ways: tuition costs, class sizes, and programs. But with the recent addition of more practical courses in universities, are we going to see more common ground between the two? Reporter Ashley Quinton speaks to students and staff about the increase of more hands-on courses at the University of Windsor.
According to George Coracon, research officer at Colleges Ontario, there is data to suggest there has been an increase over the last 5 years of about 40% of university grads applying to college. Michael Potter, teaching and learning specialist at the Centre of Teaching and Learning, explains why students may choose this path.
Partly because of what they perceive and what they've been told and what they believe. Partly, there's a perception that they didn't get enough practical experience, practical skills and so forth in their programs. And in some cases, that's probably true, depending on what they want to do with their lives.
Kate Zeller is studying travel and tourism at St. Clair College and says she left the University of Windsor's Communication, Media and Film program due to the lack of practical courses.
I was even in the production, part of it, not the theory part of it, and there was way too much theory.
Dr. Potter talks about the other side of the trend.
We have to be careful too, because there's a heck of a lot of students coming from the colleges to the universities. So there's a lot of people on campus, for instance, who deal with transfer credits between colleges and universities. And typically it goes the other way, right? Colleges to universities.
University of Windsor student Ian Campbell transferred from St. Clair College last year. He talks about the importance of combining hands-on skills with academics.
Of course, with the practical side of things, you can go out there and do the job right away, but the theory kind of teaches you why you have that job to do and why you do it. So I think it is good to have the theory and to have a basic knowledge of things.
The chair of digital journalism, Blake Roberts, says the university is taking steps in the right direction.
The university is responding to the demands of the community, demands of students as well, by emphasizing skills at the same time as this theoretical or academic education.
The emphasis on practical courses has accelerated in the past 10 years with the addition of programs like digital journalism.
From the outset, we wanted to develop a program that married both practical skills with the theory, the ethics, the critical thinking, the research skills that a student, in my opinion, can only acquire at a university.
More practical programs may have a negative effect on other areas of the university.
Money vanishes from other parts of the campus, other programs and so forth. So it will harm the students who are in traditionally underfunded areas of the university, right? So the humanities is a big one. Pure sciences are also suffering. The money makers, engineering, business, professional programs like nursing, those will be fine. The people who want those opportunities will be able to get them.
English professor Dr. Catherine Quincy expresses the benefits of experiential learning.
I think that really helps people when they get out with their degree, if they can kind of integrate what they've done in the classroom with what their function is going to be in society and with their ability to serve others and to bring something special to the world.
Practice without theory is blind. Theory without practice is useless.
Dr. Potter says the University of Windsor and St. Clair College will see an increase of joint programs in the near future. I'm Ashley Quinton for the 30.ca.
Up next, we have an example of hands-on learning at the University of Windsor, a course that takes practical teaching to a whole new level. Asil Musa tells us more.
So the first step is fonts, and more fonts.
University of Windsor student Stephanie Lankin is working with her team of classmates as part of a first-hand unique experience. They're publishing one of 2 poetry books for University of Windsor's editing and publishing practicum.
I'm very excited to be publishing and editing a book. It's awesome to be in university and have a final product at the end of it.
The book they're working on is written by Brampton and Norfolk County's poet laureate John B. Lee. Their professor, Marty Gervais, who's also founder of Black Moss Press, asked the poet about publishing a collection of his best poetry from 3 of his previously published but out-of-print books, Rediscovered Sheep, The Bad Philosophy of Good Cows, and Pig Dance Dreams.
And he said that would be great. He was 100% behind that idea. And then I said, well, maybe would you allow me to submit it to my editing and publishing class, and they will choose the work working with you.
The course is based on a 2-semesters-long group project of publishing these books. Besides learning how to work as a team, the students make creative decisions from designing the cover to choosing the poems going in the book. Lee is the 5th generation of his family on the farm, and his poetry is about agricultural life. Each of the 3 books focused on a particular farm animal. The students decided to structure the new book differently.
The way that we're putting it together is it shows a growth from childhood to adult, and in the middle of the book it shows where he wanted to leave the farm and become a poet.
Lee's decision not to be a farmer inspired the book's title, Burning My Father.
That kind of connects with the book because John is burning his father's legacy and leaving the farm and becoming a poet.
I think what we needed was fresh eyes, and I've come to trust the student point of view because they come at it with fresh eyes, they come at it with innocence, they come at it without an agenda. As a student group, we'll provide that freshness, that honesty, that ability to sweep aside all sorts of limitations and just say, no, this is what we want, this is what we get, this is what moves us, this is what causes us to be curious intellectually and emotional. And that's what I'm looking for. You can't always get that. I think it'll be a dynamite book.
The final step in the publishing process is the book launch, and theirs is on April 4th at the Kubota Club. Admission is open to the public. I'm Asil Musa with the 30 News.
As midterm season approaches, the 30 explores how students deal with stress. Jason Rankin tells the story.
It's very stressful. School really gets to me. Deadlines, not a fan of.
It's midterm season at the University of Windsor, and that means one thing for students: stress.
You're trying to balance work, life, your academic requirements. There are a lot of things on people's plates, and for sure a lot of people feel stressed, particularly at this time of year.
Kelly Laforette, an environmental studies student, tells us what is stressful about school.
A lot of times just midterms all at once, presentations, really don't like presentations, public speaking.
Other students shared similar thoughts.
Midterms that come close together, more than one in a day.
No, midterms and presentations mainly.
I get stressed out when work schedules conflict with school schedules.
A lot of the times I just need to plot my time out well, otherwise I get overwhelmed because I'm prone to procrastinate a lot.
The Peer Support Center offered alternative solutions for dealing with stress.
So today we have stress ball making and aromatherapy bath salt making, and we have a whole series of fun events throughout the week. We're all so very different. For someone it might be going for a run, for someone else it might be a long bubble bath. For a third person, it could be going and playing video games with your friends. So it's knowing what works for you.
As you can see, post-secondary education can be a stressful process. But with proper planning, stress relief techniques, and services like the Peer Support Center, that stress can be managed. This is Jason Rankin, the 30 News.
Second-year journalism students are investigating Windsor's Sandwich Town for a class assignment. Their final project will include a presentation, photo gallery, and documentary. Here's a look at their work in progress.
Sandwich Town is the oldest part of Windsor, established in 1749 and located along the Detroit River. It is shaped like a slice of pie. These are simple facts that anyone can attain from Google. Windsorites and university students might know Sandwich Town as the other side of the bridge. But what else is there to learn about the area?
We are more vulnerable here because of the border crossing.
It's very quiet. It's not like very busy or anything.
Sandwich Town, the street itself. You know what it looked like 3 years ago? People think that this is a rough area.
Of course, we have the problem with the bridge.
We are 13 journalism students, an old-time professor, and Andrew, our technical director. Can't forget about that guy. We're looking for stories. Most people know the stereotypes about Sandwich Town, but we want to dig deeper. There are definitely some hidden stories buried within the town, and we're going to find them by asking business owners, locals, and out-of-towners about their views on Sandwich. Questions like, what do you think about Sandwich? What does it mean to you? What stories can you share? What do you really know about the town? And most importantly, is it worth saving? We will look at the good and the bad, the ups and the downs. By the end, who knows what we are going to find? We might even come out with some stories of our own.
A new program is being introduced at the University of Windsor and is challenging the traditional definition of sports. Danielle Latendresse reports.
To most people, the term sport can be defined as an activity needing physical exertion. Although, is it these same traditional sports that are going to take us into the future? Or does the future of sports look more like this?
Basically what esports is it's an organized video games for fun. So basically it's a bunch of people get together and they decide, well, let's go play video games and compete and stuff and try to make the most of it.
So it's like, I guess, any sport. It requires a skill and it's competitive by nature. And it's one of those things where you need the practice to get better. And I don't consider, I guess, a physical activity necessarily has to be deemed as a sport or not a sport. So why shouldn't video games be any different than any other physical activity? So like I said, it is a skilled thing that requires practice and is competitive by nature. So Korea, is it their their national sport is League of Legends?
I met with a group of entrepreneurs from the University of Windsor. These past and present students have started up their own esports events gaming company. They agree that esports has the potential to become the next major sport in North American culture.
League of Legends, that's like the big game right now. It's the biggest game in the world. There's, I think, 27 million unique players playing every single day. Wow. It's huge support, just not to us like specifically, but just to everyone in general, with just building the esports image and getting the misconception of what a gamer is, and just showing the world that like this is the future.
And even just going on that a little bit further, there was one comparison that came out recently. I don't remember the exact numbers, but they're showing viewership numbers for the last Super Bowl and for the most recent League of Legends tournament. And there was actually worldwide like a greater number of viewers for League of Legends than there were for the Super Bowl. So everybody kind of has this view of like nothing could beat the Super Bowl, but it's not true. It's actually
that's really interesting.
And especially when you key in on specific demographics. I mean, the Super Bowl is watched by everybody, but League of Legends is watched by a specific demographic. Usually 18 to 24-year-old males make up like the largest portion of it, which is traditionally a very hard demographic to reach with marketing. So that's why it's got like this huge potential around it. So definitely a good sign of like things to come for this industry, and hopefully we can kind of create something sustainable out of it as well here in Ontario.
Thank you for watching. I'm Danielle Latendresse with The 30.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Brian Kahn for The 30 News. See you next time.